What's up, friends, and welcome back to my channel. This week, I am so honored to have one of my first YouTube friends and collaborators in the space actually join me here in person to talk about his favorite health and wellness products that he's tried this year. So welcome to the show, SHERVI'N'S. I am thrilled to have you. He has an amazing YouTube channel, all devoted to health and wellness, fitness, you name it. He's also a yoga instructor. You guys have to go check him out. I will include a link to his amazing channel in the description below. Welcome, Shervin.
Thank you for having me.
We met right at the beginning of the pandemic and we connected over Instagram. And from there, we became friends, and I just felt like I had a comrade in the space. And it's hard, when you're starting a YouTube channel and you have 4 subscribers and you're trying to build and trying to grow and learn from other people. And so you were definitely somebody that I reached out to and looked up to, and I still do in this space. And so it is just really humbling to finally meet you in person.
It is. It's an honor. I feel like, we met online and we became friends, and then finally just seeing you in person and really merging energies, I feel like is exciting.
Yeah. And so I want to just kind of get to the nitty gritty of YouTube for you. What got you started? Why did you decide to make a channel around health and wellness? Has that always been an interest to you? And then where do you see the channel growing?
I've always had an obsession with health and technology. I think technology initially, when I was younger, I loved technology gadgets. I always wanted new toys to play with. And then as I got older, I was always a competitive athlete, and as I got older, I competed less, but I still wanted to kind of live a healthy lifestyle because of that nature. And I think more health technology products kind of emerged, and that's where I started playing with more of those. And at the same time, I had this third interest of video, and I was I always loved making videos. Back when it was camcorders with tapes, and you had this little thing, and you'd zoom in and out. And that led to let's just make some videos for fun. And I was playing with health technology over here, and slowly they came together, and bam, we're at the YouTube channel today. And who knows where it's going to go. I think I want to be some kind of a technology related channel. And I think health technology is the first step to expanding to greater technology.
Yeah, there are so many products right now to try and test, and some of them are really great and can be a value add to your life. And then there's a lot of gimmicks out there, and I think what's really great about having honest and transparent YouTubers out there to get their hands on this tech and then be able to talk and speak to the efficacy of the product is really important for viewers. And that's kind of been my whole shtick since I started. That is my platform. I think that integrity and sharing the good and the bad about devices is important. So I'm going to turn that kind of to you and ask you, what products have you been inspired by and have really changed your life? And then what are some that you're don't waste your money?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the most important thing I would start with is every wellness technology product is a gimmick in a way. Because they're not health products, they're not FDA products for the most part. There are a couple out there, but for the most part, I'd go in with every product that you're trying with some level of skepticism. But there is still value, even if they're not. A lot of products I use, I know they're not 100% accurate, but there's still value to it. For example, the Oura Ring, I would say, is probably my favorite wearable and technology. And I know a lot of pieces of it aren't accurate, but there are portions of it where it is extremely valuable, seeing my trends, my heart rate variability, my resting heart rate at night. I don't look at the sleep stages, but looking at those heart rate and HRV and sometimes even body temperature deviation, I think can be extremely valuable because I know when I eat junk food or ice cream, those numbers elevate. And the same thing with drinking alcohol. So it's changed my lifestyle to a more healthy lifestyle, especially the things I do before I go to bed. So I think there's great value there. And then just the fitness products, the Whoop strap, I think it's not always 100% accurate in terms of the heart rate, active heart rate, but it provides a great community of other athletes, or quote unquote athletes, I guess, or athletes, they're all still athletes. People who have an interest and love for fitness and just being a better human. And I think just being in that community is valuable in itself. Like the device doesn't have to be perfect. If you're obsessing over it, that's an issue. But if you're using that as a way to kind of label your identity as like, I'm an athlete, I'm someone who likes to work out, that is of extreme value.
We can kind of maybe get into a little bit of a, counterpoint here. I liked aspects of the Whoop, but I didn't like the fact that there was no display, and I didn't like the membership fee. How have you been able to get over that element? Because I think that was a huge drawback for me, and certainly for people who watch my channel. I think that's the biggest complaint I've heard.
The no screen part, yes. I think there's pros and cons, right? As a person, I also wear an Apple Watch too, so there's that. But I think there's value to not having a screen. There's less distractions, right? It's depending on what are your goals. I love the Apple Watch because it's a computer on my wrist. But I also like wearing the Whoop and not having an Apple Watch at times because I think it's important to not have a screen around. Then the membership part, yeah, that's the most challenging part. When I first bought it, I got the 18 months and I was like, I'll use it for the 18 months and that's it. Then I got really fortunate and I got way too many referrals. So I have 10 years of Whoop membership to go. That's where I think the competition in the space, like Amazon Halo has come out. It's $5 a month, I think, compared to $30 a month. That's a big change. So I think the competition is going to drive Whoop in a new direction. So that's where I hope that they either extremely improve their product and hardware or they decrease their price.
Yeah, and that also made me think a little bit about why I wear the Fitbit Sense. And I know that on your channel, you were not the biggest fan of it. And I'd actually love to talk a little bit about that. For me, the reason I like this over the Apple Watch is because kind of a similar reason related to the Whoop. Even though it does have a screen, I am not bogged down by notifications all the time. And I kind of like the simplicity of the design. It makes me so much more intentional. I get that it's not the most accurate tracker on the market, but like it fit the need for me at this time. So I'd love for you to speak to kind of like, what can people look for in a fitness product or a wearable that, they can start to figure out what's going to work for them? Like, how do you go about assessing the right things? Because I think that the problem is we can end up gathering all these gadgets and trying so many things, and then they all kind of like either fall flat or they all work, and then you're wearing 6 gadgets, but like that's too much. So how do you even go about like assessing what your goals and needs are for that device?
Yeah, that's the most challenging part because there are so many gadgets now. Like we have sleep trackers, we got fitness trackers, and there's different kinds of sleep trackers. There's different kinds of fitness trackers. There's now like performance wearables to help you improve your life. It's endless. I think you have to find you have to figure out what your goals are first, right? What's the end result you want? And then work your way backwards and figure out what are the tools that are going to help you get there. And that it takes work and research, and you just have to just figure it out. And I think part of it is either listening to people online and figuring out what their experience was with it and what value they found in it, and then making sure, okay, do those value points check off the boxes that I'm looking for, or does it not? And then kind of go from there. It's a lot of experimenting, and I think you just have to kind of you might even have to just buy all these products and try them and make sure you're within the return policy and send it back.
I'm just kind of spitballing here because I'm thinking out loud. But when you're sitting down to make your videos, what do you think of when you're like the construction of your video? Like, are you thinking, okay, like I need to address this because this was an issue for me? Like, how do you organize your videos so that you're making sure you're meeting the needs of your audience to let them know like everything that they need to know about these products? Like, how do you strategically pick and choose? Because the problem I have is sometimes there's just so much about the product and you're like, how deep into the weeds do I want to get versus like holding back some stuff? You
can't. I think you just have to. I speak from my perspective, and I think that's I think there's value in having different people review the products, and I think you always have a different perspective, and I have a different perspective. Like we live different lifestyles in a way. Maybe like obviously there's a lot of overlap because we love optimizing our life, but there's also like things that we value and that are a little different, and that's where just watching different kinds of people and seeing which one do you kind of connect with the most, and what's like your person, I guess, in a way, and then looking at kind of what products they get attracted to, and there's a higher likelihood that you'll probably enjoy that product more.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. And it's like whenever I'm kind of, looking into getting new cameras, even, I look at like the YouTubers in the space that are making the type of content that I aspire to create. And so it's really about, then figuring out a way to like utilize that to your advantage, to really get inspired by that person, by what they're doing, by what they're making, and then hopefully make it your own, because I think what YouTube hopefully rewards people is individuality, and just to your point, like it's Shervin feels this way about this product, and his lifestyle is this, and if people can relate to you and your individuality and what you bring to the table, it's like you make that connection with somebody that you'll never probably meet. It's awesome. I think it's like we're in such a really cool time right now with growth on this space and this platform. So anyway, I could go on for days on this, but I really want to kind of hone in on your go-to products for people. We're starting a new year and people have all their resolutions, even though it's been a crazy year. What have been your, let's say, 2 to 3 best fitness products that you found to really help people get started? So this can be wearables, this can be, at-home devices. What would you say are like the thing to look for?
I think and I hate to say this, but I think it depends on what your goals are, right? I guess I'll just go based off what my goals are for 2021. I think for me, it's continually improving sleep, exercise, and nutrition. And to kind of get those 3, for me, sleep is the Oura Ring. That I found is kind of the best tracker for me. It's just easy to use and can track the areas that I need right now. Fitness is the Apple Watch. Whoop is a close second. And just making sure that I'm burning calories and getting my workouts in. And then nutrition, I would say any of the CGM companies. There's a couple right now. There's Levels, there's NutriSense, there's Very Stable, all great options. They all use the same hardware, it's just the software, and tracking how your glucose is kind of impacted throughout the day.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I really think that having those 3 aspects dialed in before you start adding in more is really integral to like getting the foundation. What are you going to continue to use? Because you've done so many amazing product reviews on your channel. Fight Camp, the Amazon Halo, the Muse 2. Like, tell me what are the things that you are going to continue to use throughout the year, and then what you're not and why.
I think the biggest thing I've actually learned this year is that I went kind of crazy obsessive over products, and I've got so many. Like literally anything I could find, I bought it and I wanted to try it. And I returned probably most of them. But the biggest thing I learned is you can't just buy, like you literally can't buy happiness. You can't buy a healthier body. You can't buy better sleep. You can buy products that reduce friction to get to that place, but it still requires behavior change, and it's just behavior change and new habits. And it's putting in the work to get there. And I think that for me was the biggest learning. And that is my goal in 2021 is like less products, more behavior change.
This is great. So let's dive into that. What are we talking about here,
This
Shervin?
is the end of the YouTube channel, and no more products. See y'all later.
No, Shervin, I think this is great because I think this is really when you start to graduate in the wellness and health space, when you start to realize it's not all about the shiny objects, it's really about the inner work, and those products can complement everything you're doing, but they shouldn't be a replacement, right? So what are you doing for your sleep routine right now? What are you doing for your morning routine? Walk us through your day and how you're optimizing for that.
For me, I've been trying to drink less coffee.
Okay, so you're a coffee drinker?
Yeah, I love coffee. I think my body metabolizes it quickly, so it's easy to just keep drinking more and more and more. Yeah, less coffee, consistent sleep schedule. I know that like I'll sleep when I'm dead is like really ingrained in me, and to this day I continue to try to optimize to sleep less, but for some reason my body just needs more sleep than the average person, and it's like that's lost time. And it's always an argument in my head. So I'm trying to just like, all right, 9 hours of sleep, 10 hours of sleep, that's okay. And I'm still trying to come to terms with that. When I get to like the 8, maybe 7, 6 hours, like I can't operate. Like I'll just be like, I can't focus. It's just like I'm much slower throughout the day. So I think just getting enough sleep is really powerful.
I know. It's the secret weapon that like has literally changed my life. Okay, so let's walk through your kind of morning, and do you have a meditation routine? I know you teach yoga, so that's obviously like a moving meditation, but like do you actually sit down and do like Wim Hof or anything like that?
No, not right now. So I think everyone goes through phases. I've had a lot of different morning routines. I used to have an hour-long morning routine. It was like get up, bulletproof coffee, journal, meditate, do a little bit of stretching, go out for a walk, get some sunlight, check emails, and then get on with the day. And now it's become wake up, like a couple weeks ago, it was wake up, work out, and just start working. And now it's like just wake up, start working. So it changes, it evolves. I don't think I have a good morning routine right now, and it's always self-experimentation. That's all it is. You just have to figure out what works best for you. And I think right now I've just been like, I want to maximize my time, but also do it in a proportionate way. So I've just been trying to work as much as possible, but you also have to find balance. So it's a struggle. It's a battle.
Yeah. And then like when it comes to your day-to-day routine, I know you are working full-time in a job right now, but you're also doing YouTube on the side. So how do you balance that? Because I did that for almost a year, and I was getting to the point of burnout. And then I finally was like, I have to save up enough money, and I have to figure out how to do this full time. And I did, and it's been so rewarding. But I'm curious, like, how do you separate the time between your work and YouTube and socializing, you know, whatever that looks like right now? But like, what do you do to like keep yourself grounded?
It's very hard, I would say. I think right now, it's kind of fortunate that it's very hard to socialize. So like I get that time back automatically. But I just try to dedicate like what my routine has been is try to wake up at 5 a.m. and the first 2 hours of that morning is YouTube time. And then after that, it's like go to work. And if I don't have a lot of meetings, I hope no one from work is watching this, I'll work on YouTube. And then it's like evening time, and by then I'm exhausted and I might do some family time stuff. But other than that, I try to go to bed early and then restart and do that over. I think you did the right approach of save up and then go about it a more sustainable route. So that's the goal. Let's fingers crossed. We'll get there soon.
And that is your ultimate goal, is like to take the channel full time, to be, you know, the Shervin Shares brand. You know, it's I guess like just, you know, where do you see yourself, and this is a very philosophical question, but where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, how do you hope your knowledge and experimentation is going to influence the health space?
Yeah, I hope I get this job. I feel like I'm getting interviewed. I don't know. I guess I should. I think in 5 years, like the ideal is that I've built Shervin Shares as a brand, where like I don't want it just to be about making videos, but also like somehow get involved in product creation and really build a business around it, where like I can either help build some kind of product, whether it's like a book or like a journal type book or an actual physical product that people can use, or just being a part of a company that's already maybe growing. So that's kind of the end goal. Is the video is kind of like an arm, and there are multiple arms.
Awesome. Shervin, give us just a brief like download of where we can find you, what your yoga schedule looks like, and all the ways that we can, you know, get in touch.
Just make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the like button. Subscribe to Katie's channel. And then you can find me on Instagram, shervin.yoga. My yoga classes are every Fridays. Just potentially, if it changes, just go find my Instagram. It'll be on my Instagram. And then find me on my YouTube channel, Shervin Shares, and love to talk about different technology and wellness and health content.